Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, Maison African Motives. Still working on O-level mathematics. In this platform or video, we are going to concentrate on the question paper which was written in November 2022 session for O-level mathematics. That's paper 2. That's paper that we are going to focus on. It actually took us time to work on this question paper ever since I worked on paper 1. We had some of the challenges, but now we are back. Let us quickly rush through the question paper and see what we are given. First, guys, we are supposed to read the instructions properly that you're given, especially on the degree of accuracy, whereby your answers should be given to 3 significant figures. If you're not told about that, and if you are given in degrees, you must give your answer correct to 1 decimal place. So that's it for the instructions, which is most important. So quickly rush through the first question. That is our section A, which is now having 52 marks on section A, which is now different from the previous papers that we had. But anyways, it's just normal. Let's see what we had. In the diagram above, A, B, C, D are points on the circumference of a circle center O. So you're given this is a circle center O. So as we know, guys, once we are given that we have got a circle center O, we have got some properties that we know about a circle. From A to C, that will be a diameter, and we know that a diameter is going to subtend or to create an angle of 90 degrees at the circumference. So that definitely means we can actually have this angle which is remaining on A, B to D, this angle here, since we've got 90 degrees. So we can subtract actually from 90 minus 32, which is going to be something like 58 degrees. So that means this angle here is 58 degrees. Okay, so that's 58 degrees. I hope it's clear, but that's 58 degrees there. Let's move on to the other part. We are given that TC is a tangent to the circle at C. TC is a tangent, and we know that a radius and a tangent, they meet at 90 degrees. So this angle from A to C to T, the whole of this angle is 90 degrees. But previously, we are given this angle as 80 degrees. That is BCT, this angle that I'm indicating here, that's 80 degrees. So that means we can actually determine the remaining angle from 90 degrees, which will be this angle ACB that I'm indicating here. So it will be 10 degrees. 90 minus 80, that's 10 degrees, okay? The other thing also that we have is on the other side here, we are going to have also 90 degrees from A to C to this point. We do not know what's the point there, but you're going to have 90 degrees. I'm just going to indicate 90 degrees like that. Okay, so that's what we had from the properties that we are given. So now let us quickly rush through the questions. Calculate item A, angle ACB, and that is 1 mark for that to calculate angle ACB. Okay, so that's A to C to B, which is the one that we already calculated here. We got 10 degrees. So that's our angle ACB, which is 10 degrees. Now the other part we have BDC. So let's see what we have on this angle here. That is BDC, and that's 1 mark. B to D to C, which is this angle here, BDC. We are referring to this angle. If we have to cross-check the tangent concept, remember we've got a tangent here, TC, and BC is a chord. We remember that the angle between a tangent and a chord is equal to the angle that is in the opposite segment or in the alternate segment. So if this angle is 80 degrees, the one that we are given here is 80 degrees, and also this angle is going to be 80 degrees from the chord BC. Just hold BC to the circumference of the circle, that's at D is 80, which is the same also from BC. If you hold it to the circumference, we can have an angle here at A, which is also 80 degrees. So it means at A here, we also have 80 degrees. But as we are answering this part here of BDC, which is 80 degrees. So BDC was 80 degrees. C, given CPD. So let's check C to P to D. CPD, this angle that we are having on this point. Okay, so they're actually so many ways that we can have or that we can use to find this angle CPD. If we are to check this angle properly, is the same as the angle BPA, this angle here. We've got vertically opposite angles. Remember, vertically opposite angles are equal. So if we can find angle BPA, that angle BPA is equivalent or is equal to the angle that we are supposed to calculate, which is CPD. So these two, they are equal. All right, so how can we find angle BPA? We can simply subtract the two angles of 58 and 80 degrees, because we said this is 80 and this is 58. So if we are to subtract this from 180 degrees, we are going to have the remaining angle. So we're going to have 58 degrees plus 80 degrees. So that is paper 2. You can just use your calculator direct here. 180 minus 58 plus, so this is 180 minus, just open bracket, that's 58 plus 80 degrees. So we are going to have something like 42 degrees here. So this angle is 42. So meaning if this angle is 42 degrees, this angle here is also 42 degrees. So that is what we are having on CPD. So this is 42 degrees. AOD, that is on part D, we are now given to calculate angle AOD. Let us check what we have on AOD. That is, I'm going to make constructions here. We have got A to O, then to D, which means we are supposed to make constructions from O to point D like this. So we are having something like this. Okay. So the angle that we are supposed to calculate is this one from A to O to D. That is this angle that I'm indicating here. This is the angle that we are supposed to calculate. If we are to check properly the code that it is creating angle AOD, that is the code, or we can even indicate using the arc AD. But let us check this code A to D. This code is creating angle AOD, which is the angle at the center. The same code AD is creating another angle, is creating the angle which is at the circumference. If we are to check, we are given this angle, which is AC to D, which is the angle at the circumference, this angle here, ACD. So we know actually that this angle ACD, the one that we are given here, is twice, there's going to be half of this angle at the center. That means the angle at the center is actually twice the one that we are having at the circumference. So to find ACD, which is the one that we want, so because once we calculate ACD, then we can multiply by 2 to calculate AOD. All right, so let's see about ACD first. So ACD is actually the same as the angle ABD. These ones, they are equal. These two, they are equal. Why are we saying these two angles are equal? They are created by the same code, which is AD. And they are at the circumference. The angle C is at the circumference. The angle B is at the circumference. So these two, they are equal. So that means angle ACD is going to be 58 degrees. But for us to calculate AOD, say it is going to be twice this angle. So therefore, angle AOD is going to be 2 times angle ACD, which is actually 2 times the angle of 58 degrees. Okay, so that one, you can just use your calculator or multiply direct. So times 2, that is 116 degrees. So this angle is 116 degrees. So I don't know if you had other ways or methods of calculating these angles. Please let us know in the comment section so that we can actually work on those methods again. As long as we are obtaining the same answers, then that one is actually fine. Okay, on 2A, we are given a question which needed us to factorize the given expressions, and definitely you are factorizing completely there. Okay, so on this one, we had so many ways, guys, that we were supposed to apply. So many ways. So I'm just going to explain just 1 or 2 methods which can be of use to us. Okay, the first thing that we had, these are expressions. Yes, we've got brackets and so forth. So we referring to the brackets, we can refer them as terms, like the m minus n is common because we are separated by a minus. So this term and this term, or this bracket and this bracket, are the same. So we can factor out the bracket of m minus n. Okay, if we factor out this bracket of m minus n, what is going to remain? That is the question now. From the first part, we are going to remain with this expression or the bracket of 4m plus 2n. So this is 4m plus 2n minus, we are having a negative here. If we factor out m minus n here from m minus n squared, squared means we have got two of them. So if we factor out one, we are going to remain with one of the m minus n expressions. So from there, it was for you to expand brackets and so forth. So we're going to have m minus n, which is this first bracket. From the inside bracket, there is a minus, which is going to affect here, minus times m, which is going to give us negative m, minus times minus n, which is going to be a plus n. Okay, so that means we are going to have 4m plus 2n. Remember, this one is now minus n, minus m, sorry, and this one is a plus n. So what do we have from this part? We can clearly see that we've got common terms that can be added together or subtracted together. Which terms are we referring to? We've got m and m. So that is 4m minus 1m, which is 3m. So we've got 3m. Here we've got 2n plus n, which is same as 1n. So 2 plus 1, that is 3n. So what is happening here? We can clearly see that we have factorized, yes, but we still have the 3 here, which is common in these two terms, 3m and 3n. So we can factor out these 3. So that means we are going to have m minus n. If we factor out 3 here from 3m, we are going to remain with m. From 3n, we are going to remain with a plus n. So this was the answer that we're supposed to have, of which we could have expanded. Yeah, some of us, some of you guys like to work in another way of having a lot of things. Okay, anyways, that was it. You can expand this part. So I'm just going to rewrite the expressions. M minus n into 4m plus 2n minus, this is m minus n squared. So we've got m minus n squared. So we're going to expand here, m times 4m, which was going to give you 4m squared. If you multiply m and 2n, it's going to be 2mn. We move on to minus n and 4m, which is minus 4mn. Minus n and 2n, that's minus 2n squared. So that's what you're going to have from this part. Minus, take note here. I want you to take note there is a minus with this negative here that we are having. So this negative is going to affect whatever that we are going to get from the expansion of m minus n squared, of which we know that we can, if you expand these two brackets, you're going to have m squared minus 2mn plus n squared. If you expand, I don't know, you're going to use which method, expanding them separately or using identities. It's that one, it's actually your choice. Okay, anyways, let us collect like terms. If we have got like terms, we've got mn. So that is going to be 4m squared. 2 minus 4, that's negative 2mn, negative 2n squared. Then the negative here is going to affect m to be minus m squared. We've got the negative and negative here, which is going to be plus 2mn. Then we move on, negative and the positive, which is going to be a negative n squared. Okay, collect like terms so that we can factorize further. Minus 2mn plus 2mn, that's a 0 there. Okay, so this one is a 0. It actually cancels here. Okay, then we've got 4m squared and minus 1m squared. So 4 minus 1, that's 3. So we've got 3m squared. We move on to n squared. This is negative 2n, negative 1n squared. So we've got a negative 2, negative 1, which is negative 3n squared. Okay, here we've got 3, which is common. So you can factor out 3, which means we are going to have m squared minus n squared. Okay, this is not complete. Why? Because this is actually a presentation of difference of two squares. which is going to be 3 into the square root of this, or you just have to refer to m and n, which are under the squares. So it's going to be m plus n into m minus n. So as we can see, we are obtaining the same answer just like the one that we had from this way, or you wanted to expand bracket, that one was a choice. Okay, so that was it on question 2B. 2A, sorry, 2B, we are now given a statement, word problem, or it's a statement. Let's see. The average mass of 11 players is 81. Then when one player is removed, the average becomes 80.1. Calculate the mass of the removed player. Okay, we know that I talked about this previously, guys, but I'm just going to, okay, let me remove this part so that we can do it clearly here. I referred to this issue of average, which is same as the mean, to say whenever you are calculating the average, okay, we know that average is actually equal to the sum of terms over the number of terms. So put sum of terms over the number of terms. So that's average, number of terms. So on the first condition, we are given that the average of 11 players is 81. So that means we can calculate the total for 11 players. What is the total for the 11 players? We do not know that total. So we can substitute here, the average is 81. So 81 is equal to the sum of the 11 players. So we do not know that sum of 11 players, we can just refer to as X. So the sum of 11 players is X over the number of terms, which is, we are referring to 11 players. So that's over 11. So to find X, which is the sum, we are going to cross multiply. So cross multiplying, that's 1 times X, which is going to be X. And the other part is going to be 11 times 81. So let's see from our calculator, 11 by 81, that is something like 891. So this is the total of 11 players. So for the total of 11 players, okay? You move on to the other condition now. When one player is removed, to remove, that is to subtract, you are subtracting 1. So which means now we are left with the 10 players. We are left with 10 players. Okay, so we want to know the total for the 10 players, still using the same formula, average. The average is 80,1. So 80,1 is equal to the sum, which we can just refer as y. So just say the sum of terms for the sum of terms for these 10 players, it's y over the number of terms. Now they are 10 because you removed 1 player. So that means we can just cross multiply just like the previous part so that you can have the value of y. So 1 times y here, that's y is equal to 80,1 times 10 is simply 801. All right. So this is going to give us 801, which is the sum of, or the total of 10 players. Okay, so that's it. So we have got the total of 10 players, the total of 11 players. The question is calculate the mass of the removed player. So we just have to subtract the total of 11 players, which is 81. So the mass that we need is going to be 891 minus the total for the 10 players, because we have removed 1 player, it is now 801. So that's it, 891. So we've got 891 minus the 801 that we had. Okay, that's 891 minus 801. So this is 801, which is going to be 90 kgs. So the player that was removed was actually having 90 kgs. Okay, so that is the mass of the removed player. This is the mass of the removed player. Removed player. All right, so that's what we had from this part. We are going to move on to the part C, where we are given a condition. Let me just remove this part since we are done here. Okay, part C, we are given that Maria uses 40% of her pocket money to buy shoes. Okay, we do not know the pocket money actually, but we know that to buy shoes, she's going to use 40%. That is of the amount. So here she's going to use 40%. Okay. then she uses 30% of the remainder. Take note, guys, understand questions when you're answering these typical questions. The remainder is from the 40%. So here we are saying the remainder, let us have the remainder first. The remainder is going to be 60% because she used the 40%. Now we have the remainder from 100%. Remember, percentage is up to 100. So we subtract 40%. That means she's left with 60% of the money. So that is the remainder that we have. But we are given that she uses 30% of the remainder to buy the dictionary. So the dictionary is supposed to be the 30% of this remainder, the remainder which is the 60%. So that is the what we have for the dictionary. So it's going to be 30%. Remember, 30% means 30 over 100. So it's 30 over 100 times 60%. So let's see how much percentage did she use to buy the dictionary. So it's 30 over 100, whatever that we have, we multiply to 60%, which is going to be 18. So definitely she used 18% to buy a dictionary. So far she has used 40%, she has used 18%. Okay, let's move on. Find the percentage of her pocket money that is left. So that is what we have now. So the remainder or the money that is left is going to be 100%. We need the percentage. So it's 100% minus the money that she used. She used 40% to buy shoes. She also used 18%, sorry, to buy the dictionary. So this is the money, this is the percentage that is left. So it's actually 100 minus the two percentages. So you can even use brackets there, 100 minus the sum of the two. That is 100 minus 40 plus 80. 40 plus 80, not 80. 40 plus 18, which is 42%. So which means 42% is left. That is the money left, the percentage that was left from what she used, from what she was given in terms of percentage. Take note, it can be in terms of percentage, just like what we heard from this question. So these are the typical questions that we have. Let's check the other part now, which is the D part. Let's see something here. I just wanted to cross check. Oh, we are now number 2. That's why. Okay, so 2D, we are given to solve the equation. So I don't know which method we're going to use, but that is definitely 4 marks to solve that equation. So there are so many ways that we can use. We've got 4 minus x over x, which was equivalent to x over 2. So by cross multiplying, we can remove the fractions here. That means 2 is going to multiply x minus 4. Okay, 2 is going to multiply 4 minus x, not x minus 4. Okay, and here we've got x and x, which is going to be x squared. All right, so let's expand brackets. 2 times 4, that is 8. 2 times minus x, that is minus 2x, which is equal to x squared. So you can collect these terms to the other side of the equation. That means we are going to have x squared minus 2x to this side is going to be a plus. So it's plus 2x. 8 to the other side of the equation is going to be a negative 8. So that would be negative 8 is equal to 0. So now you've got this equation. I don't know which method. Are you going to use factorization, quadratic formula? I don't know which method, but here we can check that factorization was going to be easier since the coefficient of x squared is 1. I told you guys that you just need to have 2 brackets in terms of x that you're going to have. So working with factors of negative 8, which 2 numbers that when you add, you are going to have 2 from those 2 numbers. If you add factors of negative 8, so you've got 4 and negative 2. 4 times minus 2, that's negative 8. 4 plus minus 2, that's minus 2. So these are the factors that we need, plus 4 and minus 2. So either one of these brackets is equal to 0. So x is going to be negative 4 or x is going to be negative 2 to the other side, which is going to be a positive 2. So these are the 2 values of x that you're going to have. Here we are simply saying one of the brackets is supposed to be equal to 0 using the 0 concept. Okay, the 3a part we are given the total surface area a square centimeters of a cone is given by the formula a is equal to pi r squared plus pi r l. Make L the subject. That is the first part of the question, to make L the subject of the formula, and that's 2 marks for that. Okay, so what we simply needed there was to transpose All right, so I'm just going to even write it aside here. Let me just have to move this. Okay, we can just have this formula assigned here. That is 3a. Okay, so this is 3a item 1. Okay, 3a item 1. So we've got the area, which is equivalent to pi r squared plus pi r l. We want to make L to be the subject. So pi r squared is nothing to do with L. So transpose to the left-hand side, A is A minus pi r squared, because it was a positive, is equivalent to pi r l. So to find L, we're just going to divide by pi r both sides, by pi r both sides. So this can actually cancel out. Therefore, L can be written as A minus pi r squared over pi r. So this is what we had from this question. Or someone could have written this way from this part when dividing on this part. I'm just going to indicate it here. I don't know if it is going to be clear, or let me just indicate it here. We could have divided separately from this part by pi each term. Okay, this is A minus pi r squared is equal to pi r l. What you could have done was to divide each term by pi r here, by pi r here. Okay, so that will be A over pi r minus, here you can check that pi and pi will cancel. This pi and pi will cancel. R into r squared, that is r, so it is going to be minus r, which is equal to L. So therefore, we could have written our L as A over pi r minus r, like that. So many ways of writing or expressing the answer. Okay, the other part now, which is item 2, it was for us to find the value of L. Given a condition that A is 121,44, R is 42,2, and pi is 22 over 7. So this is just a mere substitution that you are doing from these two expressions. I don't know if you're going to use this one or the first one. I don't know which one exactly. So using this, the first part that we had, that L is equivalent to A minus pi r squared over pi r, we can just substitute our values there. So L is equivalent to A. What is the value of A? We are given our A here is 121,44. So A is actually 121,44 minus pi, which is 22 over 7 times r squared. The value of r squared is 4,2. So that is 4,2 centimeters. So it is going to be 4,2 squared over pi r, which is 22 over 7 times r does not change, which is 4,2. So that means you can just use your calculator at once to calculate the value of L, or you can calculate stage by stage. I don't know which one is best, depending also with the calculator that you are using. It is best to know your calculator, okay? 121,44 minus 22 over 7. So this is 22 over 7 multiplied by 4,2. So it's multiplied by 4.2 squared over 22 over 7 times pi times 4,2, sorry. So this is times 4,2, which is we are going to obtain 5. So the length was supposed to be 5 centimeters. So like I said, so many ways that you could have done to have this. You can even substitute on L, this L that you have, or you can substitute into the original formula the values that you're given. Guys, it depends with what is best for you. Okay, the B part, we are now given that the time T taken for a meeting is partly constant and partly varies as the square of n, the number of members present. So n is the number of members present. Okay, let's take this way. We have got t here. This is actually partial variation because we are asked to express t in terms of n and constants h and k. So the first part that we are actually given is that t is the time which is partly constant. So partly constant, it means we're just having a normal constant, that is h, okay, plus another condition now where we are given that it partly varies as the square of n, the square of n, that is the number of members present. So it is going to be a constant and the square of n, that is n squared, not this one. This one is the square root, okay? Here we need the square. So that was the question on item 1. Item 2, we are now given that there are 4 members present. The meeting, if there are 4 members, then the meeting is going to last 30 minutes. If there are 6 members, then it is going to last 45 minutes. So we are now asked to find the value of h and k. So let's see. The first part, what we are given 4 members, which is n, and the time that we are given, we are supposed to cross-check if everything corresponds properly. Remember here, your time is supposed to be in minutes. Take note, your time, and our time is exactly in minutes. So there's nothing that you're going to change there. So we're going to write 30 as it is. So 30 for the time is equivalent to h plus kn squared, whereby n is the number of members, which is 4. So 4 squared is equal to 16. So it is going to be 16k. Okay, we move on to the other part. If there are 6 members, the meeting is going to last, or it is going to take 45 minutes. So that means 45 is equivalent to h plus 6 squared. We've got 6 members, so 6 squared, that is 36. So we're going to have 36 k. So we can solve for h and k. These are simultaneous equations. Whatever, these are normal equations that we are used to. So we can subtract here because we've got equation 1, we've got equation 2. So you can subtract equation 2 from equation 1. So let's see, 30 minus 45, that is a negative 15. You can use our calculators, guys. 30 minus 45, your calculator can simplify. Okay, that is a negative 15. H minus H, that's a 0. 16 minus 36, so we've got 16k minus 36k, that's a negative 20k. So you're going to have negative 20k. So to find k, definitely you divide by negative 20, both sides. So k is going to be negative 15 over negative 20. Negative 15 over negative 20 is same as 20 over 15. Okay, that's negative 15 divide by negative 20. Some they just need to write this negative. Okay, that's 3 over 4. So your k was going to be 3 over 4. So to find the value of h, now you can substitute into any one of the given equations. You can substitute from the first equation, since we are given that 30 is equal to h plus 16k as 16 times 3 over 4. So 30 is equivalent to h plus 16 times 3 over 4. You can use your calculator. 16 by 3 over 4, which is going to be 12. So this is h plus 12. So to find h, we can transpose 12 to the other side of the equation, and that will be a minus. So h is equivalent to 30 minus 12. That is the value of h. So 30 minus 12, what we have here, 30 minus 12, it's 18. So h was going to be 18, k being 3 over 4. So that was the question, guys. Answer the question. The question is for you to find the value of h and the value of k. 3 marks for that. The item 3, find the time that the meeting will take if there are 7 members present. So what are we given here? Members that are present is n. So it means you are given n. When n is equal to 7, find the value of t, which means you are calculating the t. So what are you going to do in this case? We are going to substitute from the normal equation that we had before. Remember, this is what we had. Our equation was supposed to be t is equal to h plus k n squared. So you can write that equation now. That is item 3. Okay, so item 3, we are going to have t is equivalent to h, and our h is 18 plus kn squared. Okay, let's cross check. This is kn squared. So k here is 3 over 4. So it is going to be plus 3 over 4 n squared. So the question is for you to calculate the value of t given the value of n, that n is equivalent to 7 members. We've got 7 members. So in place of n, you are going to substitute 7 members. So t is going to be 18 plus 3 over 4 times 7 squared, of which 7 squared is 49. So t is going to be 18. We've got 18 plus 3 over 4 times 49. Or you can just use your calculator direct. 18, that's 18 plus 3 over 4. So this is 3 over 4 times 49, or times 7 squared, still one and the same thing, which is going to be 54,75. So our t is going to be 54,75 minutes. So that is the time. Remember, our t, according to the question, is measured in minutes. So that is what you're supposed to write. Your T is time in minutes. And here we are not given to express the answer in any unit. So you maintain the units that are already from the given question. All right, so let's check question number 4, which was to simplify. So these are some of the basic questions that we can have in exam. Just simplify this part. I don't know what was best. You are working it the way that you are going to work it out. I don't know what was the best way, but I'm just going to have it here. So this is 4a. 1 and 7 over 8, here we know that you're going to multiply 1 times 8, which is 8 plus 7, which is going to be 15. That one is 15 over 8 minus 1.5. If you multiply, that's 2 plus 1, which is 3 over 2 squared. Remember, whenever you're given a squared, that means we are going to expand or to multiply everything, to raise everything to the exponent of 2. So it's 3 to the exponent of 2, which is 9. So that's a minus here, not equal to. So that is going to be 9 over 2 squared, which is a 4. So we can subtract. Remember, can you have your LCM as 8? So 8 divided by 8, that's 1. 1 times 15, which is 15. Minus 8 divided by 4, that is 2. 2 times 9, which is 18. So this is going to be 15 minus 18 over 8. So 15 minus 18, that is negative 3 over 8. So, and also cross-check your answers after that, because this is paper 2, guys. You can simply use your calculator. 1 and 7 over 8. So that is 1 and 7 over 8, like this, minus 1.5. So you just have to open bracket here. So this is 1.5, something like this. That's 1.5 to the exponent of 2. So you're going to have to the exponent of 2, which is going to be negative 3 over 8. So as you can see, we are obtaining the same answer just like what we had from the normal calculation. So paper 2, that's the advantage of it. Okay, the B part, remove brackets and simplify. So you have to simplify wherever it is possible. So I think this one, we can even write it aside here. That's 2 and x, 2 and 3, that is 6x squared. You've got 2 and 2y, that is 4y, 2xy. So it's going to be 2xy because that's 2x and that is 2y. So it's 4xy. Minus y times 3x, that's minus 3xy. Minus y times 2, that's minus 2y squared. All right, collect like terms, you're going to have 6x squared. 4 minus 3, that's 1. So it is going to be 1xy, which is same as xy. Don't write 1xy, guys. It's just one and the same thing. Okay. Anyways, 3, express 0.8125 as a common fraction in its lowest term. So that was a matter of writing in lowest terms. You just have to divide 0, comma. So this is actually C. Okay, that's item C here. So from 0.8125, remember, we are supposed to have the number of decimal places, and it's actually 2 marks for that. So this one is just, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 8125 over 10,000 because we've got 4 decimal places, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 1. Then you put 4 zeros like that. So it's 8,000. So guys, we're supposed to reduce until the final answer. I'm not going to do that. Guys, I want you to reduce this one. I think this one, you can actually do it for me. Okay. Anyways, you're going to obtain something like 18 over 16 from there. 18 over 16. But I want you to reduce until we get this answer. Yeah, that is mental work for you guys to work on. D item 1, we are given a condition that we are supposed to express 5,832 as a product of its prime factor. So there we have to divide, guys, as much as we can. 2 into 2,500 in this. We can even divide some of these to 5,000. That's 5, not this. It's going to be a lot. 5,832 divided by 2. That is 2,916. Okay, 2 is still working. So you can divide again by 2. Divide by 2. That's 1,458. 1,458. We can divide by 2 again here. So from 1,458 divided by 2, we get 929. Of which 929 we can't use 3. We can't use 2 because there's 9. 9 is not a multiple of what? Of 2. So we're going to move on to 3. Let's try 3. 729 divided by 3, that is 243. So you're going to have 243 divided by 3 again. That means we are going to have 81. So this will be 81 divided by 3 again. 81 divided by 3, that's 27, isn't it, guys? Divided by 3, that's 27. 3 again, 3 by 27 divided by 3, that is 9. 3 again, 9 divided by 3, that is 3. 3 divided by 3, which is 1. Okay, so that's it. So you're given to write this as a product of its prime factors in index form. Okay, so you're supposed to express this in index form. So that means we can write 5,832 as 2 to the exponent of what? How many 2's do we have? We've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So this is 1, 2, 3. So it's 2 to the exponent of 3 times. We move on to the 3's. How many 3's we have? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's simply 3 to the exponent of 6. Okay, so that was it from this part. That I think is easiest part, actually easiest part. Okay, hence find the cube root of 5,832. Hence means continue from there, not using your calculator. Hence continue from this previous part that we had from item 1, from the product of its prime factors. So here we're supposed to write from that question. So item 3, item 2, it was actually the cube root of 5,832, which is the same as the cube root of 2 to the exponent of 3 times 3 to the exponent of both. We are given from, hence from this statement, find the cube root of that. Okay, so as we know, the cube root, we simply divide. There are so many ways that we could have done here. We can divide by 3 each and every term, divide by 3 each and every term, you divide by the number inside the root. So this is going to be 3 divided by 3, that's 1. So it's 2 to the exponent of 1 times 3 to the exponent 6 divided by 3, that is 2. So that's 2 times 3 squared, which is 2 times 9, which is 18. So that is the cube root of that. Or you can actually use this concept. The cube root simply means to the exponent of a third. So it's 5,832 to the exponent of a third from your laws of exponents. So that means we've got 2 to the exponent of 3 times 3 to the exponent of 6 to the exponent of a third. So as we know from our laws, a third is going to affect each and every exponent inside. So it is going to be 2 to the exponent of 3 times a third by 3 to the exponent of 6 times 1 over 3, which is the same way like what we got here, because 3 times a third, that is 1. So it's going to be 2 to the power of 1 times 6 times a third, that is 3. So that is 2, sorry. So we're going to have the same answer, which is 18. So many ways, guys, of killing a cat. Just depends with the best method that you are capable of using. That's maths. That's maths for you. Okay, anyways, on the E part, we are given to express 2 over x minus 4 plus 2 over x squared minus 9x plus 20 as a single fraction. Okay, so there, guys, definitely need to factorize first for anything. So here, do we have anything that is common here? Okay, the first part we're just going to write as it is 2 over x minus 4. There's nothing that we can do here. Plus, here we have got 1 as the coefficient of x squared. So do we have factors of 20? But these factors of 20, if we add them, they must give us -9. So we have here, so we've got -5 and -4. If you multiply this, you get +20. If you add, you get -9. So these are the two factors that you're going to have. So it is going to be 2 over the two factors, that is x minus 5 into x minus 4. Guys, make sure that you start the shorter way of doing factorization when the coefficient of x squared is 1 like that. Anyways, you can obtain the same answer even doing the longer way. Let's check, do we have anything common? X minus 4, x minus 4. So that is going to remain as it is. X minus 5, just divide just one term. So we have to divide LCM, divide by x minus 4. If we divide by x minus 4, that is, we are going to remain with x minus 5. So it will be 2 into x minus 5 plus 2. X minus 5, as you can see, these two brackets are the same. So if you cancel, you're going to obtain a 1. So that is what you're going to have from there. Expand brackets, collect like terms. Let's see what you're going to have. 2 times x that's 2x. 2 times -5, that is -10. 2 times 1, that is a +2. Everything over the two brackets of x minus 4, x minus 5. So that's what you're going to have. Okay, 2x. Do we have anything common? We do not have on 2x, so it is just going to be 2x minus 10 plus 2, that is -8, or you can just use your calculator as well. So I've got x minus 4, x minus 5. Okay, so never leave your answers in states like this. Try by all means to check if it is possible. When you factorize the numerator, is it possible for you to factorize it for 2x minus 8? So you can factor out 2 there. 2 is common, so you're going to remain with x minus 4. Everything over x minus 4 into x minus 5. So the brackets are the same of x minus 4, x minus 4. So these two cancel out. That means we are going to remain with our answer as 2 in the numerator over the x minus 5 in the denominator. So that was it from this question. That is what we had to express as a single fraction in a simplest form, sorry. So you're supposed to write this in simplest form. So these are major typical questions that you can be asked in exam. So supposed to be very careful. Okay, number 5, we are now given as matrices. We've got matrix A, matrix B, then we are given to find AB, that is the product of the two. So as you know, guys, AB simply means you're multiplying A times B. So that was the first part of question number 5A, item 1. So this is item 1. So AB simply means you're multiplying matrix A, that is 3, 1, 9, 4, multiply to matrix B, of which matrix B is 5, -1, 5, -4, 1, 2. So put 5, -4, 1, 2. Okay, so that's it. Expanding or multiplying brackets, we know, guys, row by column. So for the row versus the column, so you can multiply there. That is our AB. So 3 times 5, that is 15, plus 9 times -4, which is -36. We move on to the other column, which is the column of 1, 2, but still on the same row of 3, 9. So it's 3 times 2, 3 times 1, that is going to be 3, plus 9 times 2, which is going to be 18. Okay, we are done multiplying the row and the columns. We move on to the last row, which is the 1, 2, but with the first column. So it is going to be 1 times 5, which is 5, plus 4 times -4, which is -16. Okay, we move on to the last row with the last column. So it's 1 times 1, which is 1, plus we move on 4 times 2, which is going to be an 8. So that is your matrix AB. You can collect like terms. 15 plus minus 36. Guys, this is paper 2. You can just use your calculator to simplify these values. 15 minus 36, which is -21. 3 plus 18, which is +21. 5 plus minus 16, that's something like -11. 1 plus 8, which is 9. So this was going to be your matrix B. All right, so that was it. The item 2, the inverse of B, B to the power -1, that's the inverse of B. So as you know, guys, for us to find the inverse of a matrix, we are supposed to find the determinant first. So the determinant of B, that is the product of major diagonal minus the product of minor diagonal. So that's 5 by 2 in the major diagonal minus the minor diagonal, which is 1 times -4. So we are going to obtain 5 times 2, which is 10, minus, that's a plus, so it is going to be +4, which is 14. So having the determinant of B, it is now easier for us to find the inverse of B, because we know that the inverse of B is 1 over the determinant into the major diagonal here. They exchange these numbers, so it's going to be 2, 5. Then we know that in the minor diagonal, you multiply by negative by negative. So it's negative times 1, which is -1, negative times -4, which is going to be a +4. So that is the inverse of B. So it depends how you're supposed to answer these questions. I don't know which was best for you guys. So you have to be very, very careful on your workings. Okay, anyways, The B part, we are now given to solve the inequality. So that's an inequality that you're given, which is actually simultaneous inequalities. Okay, sorry for that. I forgot to change this. So I'm just going to rewrite our inequality somewhere here. That's B, where we are given x minus 3 is less than 2x plus 1 less than or equal to 5 minus x. So this is 5 minus x. So whenever you're given this condition, we are also given the condition to leave our answer in this format where A and B are constants. So constants, these are just numbers. It can be a fraction, it can be a decimal, as long as it's a number. Okay, so that's what we had from this question. So the first thing was actually to divide this into two, separating with the middle term in terms of the inequalities, which is 2x plus 1. So the first part, it is going to be x minus 3 less than 2x plus 1. The other part, we are going to start with the 2x plus 1 is less than or equal to 5 minus x. So these are the two expressions that we have now. So you can solve for x. I just want to avoid x being on the right side for this part, because we can see the x is on the other in the middle part. So I'm just going to have this as minus 3. Now I transpose the 1 to this side, which is going to be negative 1. Transpose x to this side, it is going to be a negative x. So that means we are going to have negative 3. Let me indicate it this way. Negative 3, negative 1 is less than 2x minus x, like that. Okay. So negative 3, negative 1, that is negative 4, is less than x. 2x minus 1, that is x, was just the same as 1x. So x is greater than 4. X is greater than minus 4, or minus 4 is less than x. I don't know the way that you are going to refer it. Okay, on the other side, we do the same. Transpose the minus x to this side is going to be positive x. So that means here we're going to have 2x plus x is less than or equal to, transpose 1 to the other side of the equation, it's going to be a negative 1. So we are going to have 5 minus 1. So 3x here, if we add properly, 2 plus 1 is less than or equal to 4. Divide by 3, both sides. So x is less than or equal to 4 over 3. So if x is less than or equal to 4 over 3, therefore, now let's write from the format that we are given. X is greater than a, but less than b. So that means we can start with the smaller number being a negative. So we are going to have our x greater than negative 4. But the same x that we are referring to is actually less than or equal to 4 over 3. So it is going to be less than or equal to 4 over 3. So that was the inequality. We are not told to do anything to represent on the number line to find the values of x which satisfy these inequalities that we are given. So that one, it is not a matter of choice. We just have to leave it like that. We do not answer what we are not asked in exam. So please answer exactly what you're given or what you're told to answer in the question. Okay, the C part, we are given a trapezium. That's a trapezium A, B, C, D, where in this trapezium we are given that AB is parallel to DC, and we've got 8 centimeters, 15 centimeters. AC and BD, they intersect such that BX S to XD is 3 to F5. So BX S to XD is 3 S to 5. That means BD is 8 parts. Okay. The area of ABCD, that is ABCD, is 180 square. The whole area that we see is 180 square centimeters. Calculate the length of DC. That is DC, which is one of the parallel sides, because we know that AB and this DC, they are parallel. So I'm just going to refer to them as A and B from the parallel sides. And this one is the perpendicular height. So that means we can work out from the area of the trapezium to calculate the length of DC, since we are given area. Okay, we know that actually, okay, this is item 1. So this is actually 6 item 1. So from the area of a trapezium, we know that the area is given by half sum of the parallel sides, which is A plus B times the perpendicular height. So the parallel sides, we are referring to AB, which is this one. So one of these, that's our A and B. So we've got 8 on A, so it is going to be area. Remember the area of A, B, C, D, the whole trapezium is 180. So you put 180 on the area, which is equivalent to half sum of the parallel sides. A there was 8 plus B, which is the side that you are calculating, which is DC. So it's going to be DC times the height. So from the diagram, this is the perpendicular height, the one that is at 90 degrees here. That's the perpendicular height of 15 centimeters. So you're going to multiply by 15. That's the perpendicular height. Okay, so let's calculate DC. It's now a normal equation, guys, that you can actually work from. I don't know which method was best for you. Okay, you can divide by 15. You can cross multiply, guys. There are so many ways that you can do. Okay, someone can opt to just cross multiply here to remove this 2. So it's 2 times 180. Which is something like 180 by 2, which is 360. So 360 is equivalent. We no longer have this fraction here. So it is equivalent to 8 plus DC, whatever that we have, times 15. How do you remove the 15? Yes, you can expand the brackets. That's if you want, or you can just divide by 15. To remove 15, guys, you can divide by 8 both sides. So the moment you divide by 15, that means we've got 360 divided by 15. This is 360. Then we divide by 15. That is 24. So 24 here is going to be equivalent to 8 plus DC, because we no longer have 15. So transpose the 8 to the other side is going to be a negative. So 24 minus 8 is going to give us DC. So DC is going to be here 24 minus 8, which is 16. So DC was going to be 16 centimeters. Also check the units that you are given. Is it in meters? Is it in centimeters? Is it in millimeters? So you can cross-check here. We are given the other side. They are in centimeters. Here, centimeters, centimeters. So that's it. Then the other part, we are now asked to find the area of triangle BXC. Triangle BXC. So there are so many ways that we can do also here. Let's see the marks for 3 marks. Okay, so this is BXC, BX to C, this triangle here. So this is the one that we are supposed to calculate its area. Okay, so far we only have the area of the trapezium, okay? And that is the only area that we have. So what can we do? That's the question. Okay, I want us to cross-check from BD, ABD, this triangle, AB, it's a right angle triangle. Let us just calculate the area. Maybe we can have something from there. Okay, so we are going to calculate the area of triangle ABD, okay? So that at least we can have the remaining area, which is BCD. Okay, so let's start with the area of triangle ABD. So this is item 2. Okay, area of triangle. So this is area of triangle ABD. Okay, that's a right angle triangle, so it is going to be easier because we know that area is going to be half base times perpendicular height, which is half times the base, which is 15, or times, I don't know which one is your base, which one is your height, but just multiply those sides. Okay, so half of 15 by 18, that's 1/2 by 15 by 18 by 8, not 18 by 8, which is 60 square centimeters. So we are having 60 square centimeters on this triangle here, this triangle here. It's having 60 square centimeters. Okay, so if we are to remove the 60 square centimeters from the 120, because the whole trapezium has got 120, that means the area of triangle BCD, area of triangle BCD, it is going to be 180 square centimeters minus 60 square centimeters, which is 120 square centimeters. Okay, this is not the area that we are asked, because the question is for us to calculate the area of triangle BXC, which is the one that I shaded here, this one, BXC. Okay, I told you guys that if two triangles are not similar, this is 3:5. Okay, these two triangles are not similar. This triangle and this triangle that I'm indicating, these two, a BCX and DCX or CDX, these two, they are not similar, but they have got something in common in this case. They share the same height, which is XC. They share the same height, having the same height from the bases that are there. So I told you that the ratio of sides is going to give you the ratio of the given areas. So here, the BXC, the one that we are supposed to calculate, that's BXC. This area that we see, it has got 3 according to the side. It has got 3 according to the side. So this area, it is going to be 3 over. Now let's check what we have. BCD, that is the whole of the given ratio. BCD, that is the whole triangle. And according to the ratio, it will be 3 plus 5. 3 plus 5, that is 8. So this one is going to be 3 over 8 times the area of the total shape, which is 120 square centimeters. Okay, so that's it. Sorry, we are going to multiply here. Sorry, I actually opened something by mistake here. So it's actually 3 over 8 multiplied by 120. Okay, 3 over 8 by 120, that is 45. So this area is going to be 45 square centimeters. That is the area of triangle BXC. So that was actually part of similarity, but from the triangles which are having the same height, not actually similar figures like what we used to have from other questions. So I just hope we saw that one in exam, and I just hope we did the best. Okay, anyways, let's see the other part of the question that is now on construction, which is question number 6. That's our section B actually. So it was actually something else to have construction on section B. So it was an advantage because you can actually have all of these marks. Okay, so I'm just going to have our diagram aside. Answer the whole of this question on a sheet of plain paper. Use ruler and compasses only for all constructions that we are having. Show clearly all construction lines and arcs. All construction should be given in a single diagram. Okay, so that is what we're given. So we're just going to have our sketch just as usual. We are given construct triangle ABC so that AB is 10 centimeters, ABC 30 degrees, and BAC 120 degrees. So this is just a sketch, guys. ABC, but we can note that angle B and angle A are on the base. So I'm just going to have a sketch like this, guys. Angle B and angle A on the base, just like this. It's just a sketch, okay? We've got 120, so 120, you just have a sketch which shows that we've got something like 120, guys. Okay, so this is 120 was on A, okay? Then B is the one that is got 30. B is the one that is got 30, so you just say 30 here. Okay, so B, not 30. So this is B and this is C. So we've got A, B, C. So A, B, this is 30 degrees and this is 120 degrees. Okay, so that's just a sketch. And AB is 10 meters from A, 10 centimeters from A to B, we've got 10 centimeters. So I think this is enough for you to sketch this, draw actually, or to construct everything here. So as usual, we need the instruments that are responsible. That is your compass and the ruler. These are the instruments which are required for you guys to have to use on your construction. Okay, so that's what we have here. So I'm just going to mark, just as usual. I think for those who have been having us, I told you about this, that here you have to just mark, draw a line of your choice, the one that you're going to use as your reference line. So like for me, I'm just going to use this as my reference line, which is where I'm going to have my A and B. So to have A is the first point or B is the first point. I don't know, depending with you. But as for me, A is going to be my first point. So I just have to mark here. This is my A. That's my first point. So that's A here as our first point. So we can just name this is point A. Okay. So be careful on how you're going to do your things or marking your points there. So this is your point A. From A to B, we've got 10 centimeters. And according to me, that's my 10 centimeters here. 10 centimeters. Okay. So it's 10 centimeters. That's here from this point to this point. I know it doesn't make sense a lot because of the distance that I'm using. But if I'm to use this ruler, then it is going to be something else. So that's why I just said, but as for you, it is going to be bigger than what I am having here. So this is my point B at the moment. That's where I'm having my point B. From A, we are given that there is an angle of 120 degrees, and we know that 120 is taken from 60 degrees. So we are going to construct 60 degrees from this side. That's 60 degrees. So you know 60, guys, I told you that is supposed to be an arc. From an arc that you have without changing the length that you are having here. You do not change the length. You just have to mark another, sorry, from this side here. Just have to mark another arc that will be like this. So that's 60 degrees that you have constructed from the other side, but the remaining angle inside the triangle is the one that we are looking for. So that is the major part, which is going to be, okay, so that's something like 300 degrees from this side. Okay, don't mind this part. Don't mind this part. It just takes some time to locate exactly the angle there. All right, okay, something like this. You join your points. So it actually has to be accurate. That's the problem with this thing. But let's just hope we see what is happening here. So I'm just going to join. Okay, like this. All right, so that's it. From this point here, we've got 100 degrees, 120 degrees. So you can even indicate the angle of 120 degrees, or you can just leave it like that. But that's your angle A. B, that's 30 degrees, guys. We have to construct 60, then bisect 60. So you can do that. You construct 60, then you bisect 60 on the left-hand side. Or you can simply do this. You know that this is how you construct your 60 degrees. You have to mark a point like this. All right. Then from this side, we have to come back to the other side. And okay, I have to remove this, a mistake. Anyways, let's get back to our normal way. So there it means it's going to affect because I have already changed everything. So I'm just going to redo this. Okay, so like I was saying, you're going to mark from this end. All right, from this end here, I'm just gonna a little bit back. Okay, mark an arc like this. From that arc, without changing anything, so you have to mark this point. Then we change, we mark an arc again like that. So this is your 60 degrees, the one that we are used to. So we actually know that whatever that we are going to have, it's going to start from this point. We are going to bisect. So what you're going to do is you can actually change this and mark an arc inside without changing. You also mark an arc from this other end back to this point like this. This angle will automatically be 30 degrees. Okay, or you can mark the one that you are used to. The one that you are used to. The 60 degrees, then from the 60 degrees, you construct the actual angle. So here, I'm actually, okay, that's something like this. So that's what you're going to have at the end as your 30 degrees here. So by having these 30 degrees, you are going to see that by constructing or by joining the 30 degrees to be like that, you are actually joining from the line that we had, the previous line. I don't know what actually happened with that previous line that we had before. I don't know what happened from that previous line that we had before, because we had a line which was continuous here. Okay, let me just try and mark out if we are going to win. Okay, so that will be something like this. So where these two lines were to intersect at this point, that's automatically where we are having the point C. So this is where we have got our point C from the diagram. So that was going to be the point C here. So that was the triangle that we are going to have. This is 30 degrees. So yeah, it looks something else from my diagram, but as for you, it will be bigger enough, very, very big. It was going to be a very, very, very big shape that you're going to have, but make sure that you maintain everything properly. And we referred to AB having 10 centimeters. Okay, so that was the diagram. Then from that diagram, we are now asked to measure and write down the length of BC. So you're supposed to measure the length of BC according to your instruments there. You measure and write down, but according to my diagram now, it is going to be something else because I do not have exactly the shape that you had, but according to me, my BC was going to be 17.1 centimeters. Was that possible? Okay, anyways, but that was my BC. It was going to be 17.1 centimeters. 17.1 centimeters. That was my BC. And which item is this one? Okay, that's item 2 or item B. Or not. No, let's check here. Okay, I just have to keep my instruments aside because I will need them. So that's BC. That's 1 mark. So you measure properly, okay? Then the C part, you're now asked to construct the perpendicular. Take note, the perpendicular that is 90 degrees from C to meet BA produced at D. Okay, so BA has to be produced. This is your BA. You just have to extend the line. Okay, so the perpendicular from C is that you're supposed to mark a point. You mark at C here. You step at C. Then you construct an arc which is supposed to cross or to cut the line BC, the line AB in 2 parts. It has to cross or to cut that one on 2 positions actually. So you have to test, is it gonna do so? No, we have to reduce a little bit. Is it going to do so? No, we have to reduce a little bit. It must cross this line at 2 points, 2 given points. Okay, like this. Let's try like this. Yes, that's another point and another point like that. So once we have this, what are we going to do from the point, from those 2 points which it had to cross, we are going to mark back those arcs. We are going to mark the arc back to C and another arc down. So you're going to have an arc which is drawn down and another arc which is drawn back to C like that. Okay, you move on to the other part, which is this arc again on that line, AB, which was produced. You do the same, you mark the arc down here, then you also mark the arc and it must reflect back at C. By doing that, you just have to join the 2 at the point of intersection. As you can see, there's an intersection at C and the intersection down there. So what you do is that you just have to join like that. So this is the perpendicular bisector that they are referring to. Not the perpendicular bisector, but the perpendicular distance, sorry, that is the perpendicular referred from C to line AB produced. And this is at, it is actually at 90 degrees where it meets this line, it will be at 90 degrees. That is where we are referred to as the point D, to meet BA produced at D. So BA was produced, as you can see, it is extended to the point D. So this is going to be your point D. All right, so that was 90 degrees there. On the other part, D, we are now given to construct the locus of points which are equidistant from A and B. So remember, guys, A is a point, B is a point. So that one is a line bisector of AB. So this is your line AB. You're supposed to bisect line AB. And how do I bisect a line? That's the question. Remember, to bisect a line, you're supposed to open more than half of the line. This is your A. You just have to open more than half of the line from A. You mark an arc on top, then you mark an arc down. That's how you simply do it. Okay, so like this at A, you have to mark an arc on top. I'm just going to use this. Okay, I'm going to mark an arc on top. I do the same down here. I have to mark an arc down there. Okay, that's it. Doing the same from B, we are going to do the same. We are going to mark an arc on top. We do the same. We mark an arc down here. So where these 2 arcs meet, just have to join the lines. That's it. Just have to join the lines. So that is the locus of points equidistant from A and B. So that is what we had from this part. Okay. The other part, we are now given 6 centimeters from point A. So 6 centimeters from a given point, that's a circle. I talked about this. Locus of points equidistant from a fixed point A. It's a fixed point. So that one, it is going to give us a circle of radius 6 centimeters at point A. So from point A here, all we need is to measure 6 centimeters. So that is somewhere 6 centimeters like that. So I step at point A, this is the point A, and at point A, draw a circle. So that is the locus of points, which is 6 centimeters from A. All right, then the other part, let's see what we were given. The other part we are now given that that is E. A point E is not more than 6 centimeters from A. Okay, so not more than means it's actually less than 6 centimeters, okay, from A. So from A, this is our A here. 6 centimeters from A, that is any distance that is in within the circle, less than, because the circle is 6 centimeters. So anything that is in within this circle is less than 6 centimeters, okay? That's the first part. And the other part, we are now given that it is nearer B than A. Okay, this is nearer B than A. Let's check which position is near to B than to A, but less than 6 centimeters. Okay, we are going to have two positions which are actually referred. The position that is nearer B is going to be separated with a line that is the one that we are given here. Remember, we have got the line bisector. Here we've got A and B. We've got the line bisector here. It bisects two positions from A to this point, and from this point to B is equal distance. So nearer B, we are referring to the distance that is near to B, but less than, so which means we are referring to this region here inside the circle there. Let me just try to zoom a little bit like that. So this is actually the region that we are referring. It's nearer B than A, this region here. Once you cross this line, it's now nearer to A. Okay, so that was it. It's inside the circle, nearer B. So that was the position. And this position, you are not just going to indicate by drawing. We are now told a point E is not more. On the diagram shown by, they say in which E must lie. So E is a region that we shaded here. So you can just write inside, but according to me, as you can see, it's not having any space, but you're supposed to write E inside of this region. So just indicate E inside that region. I just hope this will be clear. When you do it on your paper, following these stages, it can actually make sense. It can make more sense than the one that it is doing currently right now. Okay, anyways, that was question 6. Question 7, we are now given the table below shows times taken to complete a race by 50 athletes. Calculate an estimate of the mean time for the race. So as we know, guys, mean is always about the class centers and the frequency. I told you guys, calculate the class center. So you're supposed to calculate the class center. The first one, yes, there's a frequency of 0. So that's why we're not given it as a class. So you're supposed to start from this class. You calculate the class center. Remember, class center, you add a lower class and the upper class, you divide by 2. So you add 5 plus 8, you divide by 2. Okay, that's how you find the lower class. I'm just going to do something like this so that you see what I'm saying. 5 plus 8, whatever that you get, you divide by 2. That's the class center. That's the given class center. You multiply to the frequency of 3 and so on and so on. So it was going to be like that throughout the question. Okay, so let's just hope this side is going to be okay. Okay, so this is 3.7a. Okay, so this is item A. So like I said, the first part, we do not have a frequency there, so it's just not a matter of fact. So 5 plus 8 divided by 2, you got 6.5 times the frequency, which is 3. You move on to the other one. From 8 to 10, you add, but as you can clearly see, number between 8 and 10, that is 9. So it's 9 times 5. You move on to the other one. Between 10 and 11, between 10 and 12, we can see that we've got 11 there. So it is going to be 11 times 14. So some of these things you can even clearly see by side. From 12 to 14, the number that is in between there is 13. So it's 13 here times 16 times frequency, class center times frequency, plus the class between 14 and 16, that's 15. 15 times the frequency of 7. So it's going to be 15 times 7 plus from 16 to 18, that's 17. So it's 17 times 4. From 18 to 20, that's a 19, as we can see, guys. That's 19 times 1. So some of these questions, guys, do not waste much time in exam. even if you know these things. Okay, over the total frequency, how many how many anthers do we have? We've got 50 anthers, so definitely you just have to divide by 50. So that was the mean. Okay, so there, guys, I want you to simplify everything. You're going to have something like, guys, this one I ask you to simplify, multiply properly, then you add. You're going to obtain something like 618.5 over 50. And if you divide, that to be 12.37. So that is the mean, of which our answer is just going to be 12 anthers because it's mean number of anthers, but you can just leave it like that as 12.37. Okay, the other part now that you are given was to find the value of M and N. That's if this information that we have is to be represented on a cumulative frequency table. So this is the frequency cumulative table. Remember the cumulative frequency table, you add 0 here. That is the one that we have here. That's a 0 here. That's 0 plus this 0 that we got here plus 3, which is 3, then 3 plus 5, which is 8, 8 plus 14, which is 22. So it's going to be 22 plus 16 to obtain M. So M is just going to be, we said 22 plus 16. So 22 plus 16, that is something like 38. We can see this one is 38. So this is 38. Move on, 38 plus 7, that's 45. 45 plus 4 is supposed to give us N. So N is going to be 45 plus 4, which is 49. Okay, 49 plus 1, that is 50. Okay, so that means it makes sense. So that's what we had from the values of M and N. And then from this information, let's check what we had on the other part of the question. We are now given, answer this part of the question on a sheet of graph paper. Use a scale of 2 centimeters to 2 minutes on the time axis and 2 centimeters, 5 units on the cumulative frequency axis. Remember, cumulative frequency axis, cumulative frequency, I told you guys, you're supposed to have the cumulative frequency on this side, then this will be the upper classes, okay? So you actually use the upper classes, okay? So from these two tables that we had, which one is the one that you're going to use to draw the cumulative frequency table? That's the last table, this one, the cumulative frequency. So we have the cumulative frequency, we have the upper classes 5, 8, 10, 12, versus the cumulative frequency. So you mark these points. Okay, so because of this graph, I was actually having a bigger graph, like a lot of things are there. So I just had to mark this. So this is our time in t-axis. That's our time here. So I had to mark the points and the cumulative frequency. So you can even start from 0, I don't know, but here to start from 4, 4, 6, 8, and so forth, maintaining 2, 4, 6. Then here, that will be 0 from what? 0, 5, 10, and so forth. Remember, your time is supposed to be 2 centimeters to represent 5 units. On the cumulative frequency, it's 5 units, but time is 2 minutes. That's why we see 4, 6, 8, and so forth. So you mark your points, then you join. It must be a smooth S that you're going to have at the end, just like this, something like this, not exactly like, but it must be smooth. So as you can see, guys, it was covering almost the whole graph. So I don't know, to those who answered this question, how did you manage to draw a smooth curve from there? I just hope you did the best. Okay, so that was it from this part. Then you move on to the other part. Use the graph now. Everything is now taken from the graph. Whatever that you're going to do is supposed to be taken from the graph. That is the C item 1. To find or to estimate. This one is an estimation, is not an accurate value that you're going to have. You can have an accurate value that will be nicer, but mostly you just have to estimate whatever that you're going to have. So we are supposed to estimate the median time. That is the median time of the rest. Remember that median is half of the distribution. So what you're going to do was what were you supposed to do was to calculate the half of the distribution. Our distribution, it actually adds to 50, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get back to that information. Yeah, that's this number here, which is 50. That is the total. So that is half of 50, which is 25. So half of 50, that's 25. So the 25th position is the one that is going to give us the answer to the median. That is the 25th position. So from our graph here, the 25th position, according to scale, we just need to locate where there is 25 from the vertical axis or from the cumulative frequency curve. Here, that's our graph here. So where do we have 25? We have got 25 at this point. So where we've got 25, we are going to draw straight to the graph and down to the horizontal axis. That's where we are going to have our answer for this one. Okay, so I'm just going to draw straight from 25 to the graph. This is where we've got 25 here. Okay, I want exactly where we have 25 at this point here. That's where we have our 25. So draw straight to the graph. You can even use dotted lines if you want, but you draw straight to the graph. Then from the graph, straight down from that point. All right, let me do this way, straight down to the horizontal axis. That's where we're going to have our answer. Okay, somewhere there. Okay, so straight to the graph, that's where we are going to have our answer there. So I don't know at which a point exactly, but this is 12. According to scale, this will be 12,2, 12,4, 12,2. I don't know. So it depends with the scale also. I mean, with the point that you are having, but according to me, the answer is somewhere at 12, there, which is something like 12,2 minutes. So take note, this is the median time. Okay. Item 2, the approximate number of athletes who completed the race in 9 minutes and under. Okay, so we want the number who completed 9 minutes and under. So you just have to go to the graph time. Where do we have 9? 9 is somewhere here. This is 8 and this is 9, definitely in between. So in between 8 and 10, that's where we've got 9 is there. So you draw straight. Then our answer is supposed to be taken from the horizontal, from the vertical axis this time. So straight from that point. Okay, I had to hide my ruler here. Let me take it back. So straight now from this, we are going to have our answer on the cumulative frequency here. So it's an estimate somewhere there. Okay, so this is 5, somewhere at 5, 6, somewhere there, 5,5, which is going to be 5 athletes or 6, somewhere there. Okay, so you subtract the 2. So according to scale, it's actually 2 centimeters representing 5. So that means each box is actually 0,2. So 0,2, 0,4, 0,5, 0, no, each box, 2 boxes is representing 1. That is what is happening. Sorry for that. 2 boxes is representing 1. Like this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be 5. Then the next one is supposed to be 6. So it can't be 5,5 students. We can't say 5,5 athletes. But according to the graph that we are having is 5,5. So I don't know if exactly we had the graph that is at the point. Remember, this graph is supposed to be smooth, guys. So the answer that you get there, that was your answer. So I don't know which one exactly did you obtain from your graph, but it's supposed to be from 5 to 6. Okay, that's where we are supposed to have our answer. So that was for you to obtain 12 marks from this question number 7. As you see, each and every question in section B is supposed to have 12 marks. And these guys, they can't even write the total in each section to just write 12. I don't know what our department people are doing. Anyways, that's what we had. Question number 8 is actually in construction. So we shall quickly rush through the question. That is our question 8, so that we see what we're supposed to have from this. Okay, question 8. So let's see what we have from this question. All right, I'm just going to use this page here. So at least question 8, that was transformation. So we're given a scale to work on from 2 centimeters, that is 2 centimeters to 2 units on both axes. And we are given our x here is supposed to be from -6 to 4. And y is supposed to be from -6 to 8. Then draw triangle P. That was the first question. Draw triangle P with faces 2, 1, 3, 3, 1, 5, and label triangle P. So that's it. Let's mark our point. This is the scale that I'm already having. So we had 2, 1. So 2, 1 is somewhere here because this is 2, 4. So 2, 1, that was somewhere here. And another point, let's check what we had. So I'm just going to name these, just going to mark these points, guys. Okay, 3, 3, and 1, 5. Okay, so we've got 3, 3, and 1, 5. This is 3 versus 3 somewhere here. And we have got 1 versus 5. That will be somewhere there. All right, then after marking this, we have to join the points so that we can have our triangle here. So just going to have this way. All right, I think it's going to be enough. This length is going to be enough. Let's just hope so. All right, so I'm just going to mark the points to join the points here. Then we name our triangle P after joining the points. So that was it, guys. I hope it's actually clear. All right, then from this point here, somewhere there, this. Okay. So that was going to be our triangle P, just name triangle P inside here. All right, then from the triangle P, let's see the question. Let's see the question. We are now given that Q is the image of R under the translation vector 6 minus 7. So this is what we're given. We're given the translation 6 minus 7, draw triangle, draw and label triangle Q. So there were so many ways that we could have done from this way. We can calculate the coordinates of the image using the formula, or you can just do it by movement. We know that a vector is just a movement. So you can do by movement, or you can calculate the coordinates. So this was actually our B part. I'm just going to calculate the coordinates since we know that translation vector is equivalent to the image minus the object. Now we are supposed to calculate the image. So transpose the object to the other side of the equation. It is going to be translation vector plus the object, which is equal to the image. So that means we are supposed to calculate the image of each point, starting with the point 2, 1. This point 2, 1. So it is going to be translation vector minus 6 minus 7 plus the point which was 2, 1. So we can get the image to that point. So that's negative 6 plus 2, which is negative 4, negative 7 plus 1, which is negative 6. So that's a point that you're going to mark later on, minus 4, minus 6. We move on to the other point, translation vector, minus 6, minus 7 does not change, plus the second point. The second point was 3, 3. So you add 3, 3 here. So if we add, what are you going to have? Negative 6 plus 3, that is negative 3. Negative 7 plus 3, that is negative 4. So that's another point that we are going to have, which is negative 3, negative 4. All right, we move on to the other point. Still, translation vector does not change, plus the last point, which was 1, 5. So the last point was 1, 5. So you add, which is going to be negative 6 plus 1, which is negative 5. Negative 7 plus 5, which is negative 2. So that's the point, negative 5, negative 2. So these are the points that we are going to mark. Then we draw the triangle. We name that triangle Q. So that was the concept, guys. First point, minus 4, minus 6. So we've got minus 4, minus 6, that's down here. Let's just mark minus 4, minus 6, where these two meet, mark a point. Minus 3, that was the other point, minus 3, minus 4. So this is negative 3, negative 4, somewhere here, mark a point. Followed by negative 5, negative 2. So that was negative 5, negative 2. Okay, let's just check our points. All right, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 2. So those are the points. Then from the points, simply all we need is to join them, just like what we did from the previous points. Just have to join the given points and then draw the triangle. So that's how easy transformation is, guys. Okay, anyways. Okay, guys, this issue of joining points takes time than work out the question. I just hope you guys, we are together. All right, so here I'm just going to join, guys, because it takes time. Okay, somewhere there. Okay, let's just hope it is going to be clear. Join these 2 points, do the same to the other points here. So this is the point versus this point here, somewhere there. All right, let's join our points. Then we have got the last here, join our points again here. Okay, so that's it. So this triangle is the one that is referred to as triangle Q, the one that we are given after the translation vector of -6, -7 from P to Q. All right, so that was it from the B part. The C part, we are now given triangle RS for the vertices 1, 5, 3, 6, 1, 7, and so forth. Draw and label this triangle. That's 1 mark for that. So you're just going to draw the triangle. That's 1, 5, 3, 6. Okay, so let's start 1, 5 already. We marked 1, 5 before. That's 1, 5 here. So we move on 3 versus 6. That's this point. And 1, 7. The other one was 1, 7. So these are the points that we have. So you just have to join. So I'm just going to use another marker so that these 2 triangles will see the difference that was actually happening here. All right, so that was our triangle R. From this point, we have our triangle R here. Okay, somewhere there. Okay, so this was the triangle here. That's our triangle R. So just name inside triangle R there. So the question now, which is following, is for us to describe fully transformation X, which is the one that mapped triangle P onto triangle R. Okay, so that part now, I want us to cross-check properly here. I don't know what happened on the coordinates here, because we are not having something that is exact. We do not have a side that is remaining the same. So it is going to be difficult here for us to say it is a shear or it is a stretch. They are not isometries. This is not enlargement. So here we just leave it for now as an error. But if you have got something that you see, please let us know on the comment section. Maybe you might see something that you say, no, this transformation was this and that. Yes, let me know on the comment section. Okay, not wasting time. D. Triangle S is the image of triangle P under a one-way stretch of stretch vector -2, y-axis invariant. Calculate the coordinates of triangle S. As 3 marks for that. Okay, we are given this is a one-way stretch, y-axis invariant. So the first thing was for you to have the matrix so that you can actually work out the coordinates. Since I referred this as the matrix times object should give you the image. I talked about this part. So this is actually the item 1. Matrix times object is equal to the image. What is the image of a one-way stretch? That is the y-axis invariant. So you know that one is look like this. Supposed to be look. There's a 1 here like this, because this is y-axis invariant, and K is the stretch vector, where we are given that the stretch vector is -2. So it's -2, 0, 0, 1, multiply by the object. So the object is triangle, the one that we had before, which is a triangle P. So we take the coordinates from this one, is 2, 1. All right, so the first one, it was 2, 1, followed by 3, 3. So this is 3, 3, and the other one is 1, 5. So guys, this is just direct matrix multiplication, row by column. We can obtain the answer. That's this row by this column. So there we do not want to waste much time, guys, because we can see that it's -2 and 2, which is -4, 0 and 1, that's a 0 here, -2 and 3, that's -6, -2 and 1, that's -2, because the 0 is going to be +0, +0, +0, which does not affect anything. The same thing here, 0 is going to multiply everything on top, 0 times 2 times 3 times 1. So you just have to multiply down by 1, 1 times 1, that is 1, 1 times 3, that is 3, 1 times 5, that is 5. So this is what we have. So these are the coordinates, -4, 1. So remember how you take the coordinates. That's a point followed by -6, 3, and the last point being -2, 5. All right, so with these coordinates, we just have to mark these points. -4, -1, that's somewhere here. -4, -1. Is it -1 or it's plus? It's +1, so it's -4 and a 1. Okay, that's -4 and a 1 here. Okay, so -4 and 1, that's on top. Okay, -4, 1 here on top. We move on to the other one, which is -6, 3 on top again. -6, 3, which is on top. That's -6 here, 3, that's somewhere here. Okay, the last point was at -2, 5, -2, 5, somewhere there. All right, so with these points, we can actually join them to have our triangle, because that was the question after the coordinates. The item 2 was asking us to draw this triangle. So we are supposed to draw it, mark the points, then you just have to join the points. It's like that. So I just hope everything is clear on this question. I just hope everything is clear. So that means we're having free marks there for that question. But if you've got any other method, guys, or any other way that you saw, then let me know how you're supposed to answer the question, the one that we left. Okay, so that was it. From this part, after joining, this is triangle S. On item 2, draw and label triangle S. So we are going to name inside this triangle S. Okay, so that was your transformation question. As we can see, it was actually an easier question besides the errors that we had, but it was one of the easiest. Okay, question number 9, we are given, answer the whole of this question on a sheet of graph paper again using a 2 centimeter to represent 1 unit on the x-axis, 2 centimeter, 5 units on the y-axis. So the first part was to calculate the values of D and E from this table. So as we know, guys, to just calculate the value of D and E, you substitute D corresponds with -2. So y is equal to 6 times -2 in place of x minus -2 squared minus -2 cubed. Okay, so just like that. So you can obtain the value of D, which was going to give you -8, if I'm not mistaken. Then the same thing on E, when x is equal to 3, you substitute. This one is going to be 3 squared, 3 cubed, and so on and so on. And you're going to obtain something like -18. All right. Then the B part, draw the graph of y is equal to whatever that you're given. So what you need was to mark the points that you're given, -4, 24. So you mark the points. Okay, that's our graph here. Let's see if our scale is fine. 2 centimeters, 1 unit on the x, 2 centimeters, 5 on the y. That's the scale that you are given. All right, now we are going to draw the first point. That's -4, 24. Okay, -4 versus 24. All right, according to scale, -4 is here. 24 is actually, according to scale, it's 2 boxes represent 1. So -4 versus 24, this is 25. So just 2 boxes below 25 like that. You mark all the points, at least that one was going to be easier. -3 is 0. So that's -3 and a 0 here. -3 versus 0, that's this point. All right, -3 versus 0 here. And these points, they are too far. Okay, -2 and -8. -2, that's -8, down here. All right, -2, -8, just before -10. Okay, this is -5, -2, -6, -7, -8, yeah, somewhere here. Okay, then we move on to another point, -1 versus -6. So it's -1 versus -6, which is just 2 points, 2 boxes from -5. Okay, then we move on to 0. That's 0 versus 0. Okay, that's a 0 and a 0 there, then 1, 4. All right, so you've got a 0 versus a 0, then we've got 1, 4. So this is 0, 0 here, then 1, 4, somewhere there, 2 boxes below 5. That's 1, 4. All right, then let's check the other point. So this one is indicated 1, 4, 2, 0. and 3 minus 18. So it's 2, 0 here, and 3 minus 18, which is down there. Okay, -3, -18, we have got -15 here. So let me just try to adjust a little bit. It's 3 and -18, all right, so that's 15 here, -16, -17, -18, somewhere there. Okay, so this is a cubic function, so you're supposed to join. Make sure that you join all the points properly in this case, but because of these points, they are too far from each other. Okay, let's see if we are going to win. Let's see if we are going to win. So this point was to this point, then down here, this point. Okay, this is not what I want it to look like. Okay, so guys, supposed to be smooth. Supposed to be very, very smooth. Okay. All right, so after joining, you have something of this nature. That's your cubic function. I don't know if you had something like this. It must be smooth, very, very smooth, not cross. Okay, then you just have to write the equation. Y is equivalent to, that was 6x minus x squared minus x cubed. Okay, from there, let's answer the following questions. From this graph, we are now given, find the gradient of the curve at a point where x is -2. Guys, I told you about the gradient. All you need is to have a suitable tangent from there at -2. So this is -2 direct to this point. Then you just have to draw a tangent, a suitable tangent where you are going to find your gradient. All right, so that's it from this side. Our tangent maybe was going to look like this. Let's see, -1, -2. This is our -2 here. Then we've got our tangent. So you just have to make sure that your tangent is at least 3 centimeters. Okay, so this is your tangent. From the tangent, find the gradient. Remember, guys, I told you the first thing is to take the points that you are given. The first point is one that you are given at -2. -2 actually corresponds with this point of -8. So it's supposed to be -2 and -8. Okay, so this was item C. So we need the gradient. So we're going to take -2 and -8. And you choose the second point of your choice now. So the second point of your choice, just have to take according to the graph. I don't know which point were you going to take from this way or whatever that you're going to do. But it seems like this tangent of ours is actually out of range. Okay, let me see. Let me see something, because our tangent is supposed to be somewhere like this. Okay, our tangent is supposed to be somewhere like this. A tangent, guys, is supposed to be somewhere there. Let's just hope it's fine. So let me remove this part here. Okay, I'm just going to remove the red one. So just ignore this red part that we are having here, please. Just ignore the red part here, this red part here, this red part. So the -2 does not change. Then this point, at least yes, somewhere there, put 0 minus 16. There, I'm going to take that point 0 minus 16. Okay, having these 2 points, then you can find your gradient x1, y1, x2, y2. So the second point is of your choice, guys. Just choose any point of your choice. So gradient, we know that is the increase in y over the increase in x. That's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2, that is -16 minus y1, which is -8 over x2, that's a 0 minus x1, which is -2. So you can simplify from our calculator direct, or we can, I don't know which method was best for you. This is going to be a plus. So we are going to have -16 plus 8, which is -16, which is -8. Okay, 0 minus -2, that's a +2. So our answer is going to be -4. So that was the gradient. That's the one that I'm obtaining here. So it's an estimate that you're doing. It's not like you're having the same answer. Okay, draw the graph of y is equal to 2 minus 2x on the same axis. Okay, so for the graph of y is equal to 2 minus 2x, I don't know which method were you going to use, table of values or double intercept method. But as for me, I'm just going to use double intercept method. So this is D. We've got y is equal to 2 minus 2x. Remember, double intercept, I just need 2 points to work with. Okay, the first point is when x is equal to 0. The second point when y is equal to 0. Okay, when x is equal to 0 here, y is equal to 2. All right, we move on. When y is equal to 0 here, we are going to have 0 is equal to 2 minus 2x. So 2x transpose to the other side is be positive, is equal to 2. Divide by 2, both sides. That means at that point, x will be equal to 1. So with these 2 points, I can mark them on the graph 0, 2. I just have to mark the graph on the graph here, 0 versus 2. That's 1 and 2 somewhere there. So that's 0, 2. And the other one was 1 is 0, which is somewhere here. That's 1 is 0 there. So these 2 points are enough to have the line. So it depends, guys. You wanted to use table values or what? But we are going to have the same line. That is the advantage of drawing a straight line. We are going to have the same straight line passing through the same points, whether you've got 5 points, you've got 7 points, you've got 20 points, you've got how many points, it is going to be the same. So that was my graph here. According to my graph, let me a little bit down somewhere there. Then you have to join. All right, sorry for that. So by joining these points, we are creating a line, or we are drawing a line of y is equal to 2 minus 2x. So this is 2 minus 2x, just like that, guys. I don't know which method was best for you, but after that, the question further on goes to use the graphs to solve the equation 6x minus x squared minus x cubed is equal to 2 minus 2x. So as you can see, y is equal to y from the previous y that we had here and this y that we have. So at the point of intersection, that's where we are going to have our answers for this one. We are going to take from the point of intersection. Where do these graphs intersect? Okay, the first part, they intersect here. And also intersect at this point and also intersect at this point. So where these graphs intersect, you draw straight with a ruler straight to the x-axis. There is where you're going to have your answer. Straight to the x-axis, there you have your answer. Straight to the x-axis, there you have your answer. So that was what you're supposed to have on this one. So this was actually item E. So according to the points that I got, x was actually at -3,4, somewhere there. I don't know what you have from yours, but where these points intersect at 3,4, or x is equal to here, it was something like 0,3. So x, that's 0,3, or another one at this point, which was 2,2, somewhere there. So these are the values of x, 3,4, 0,3 and 2,2. So depending with how smooth your graph is, that's why I'm saying, that's why I always say, make sure that your graph is smooth, very, very smooth, not crossing, so that you can have your answers in a better way. Okay, so that's it, guys, on this question. We move on to the other part of the question, which is question 10, where we are given the vector A, the vector B are such that A plus B is -2,6, 2A minus B is 5,0. Then find the value of A and B. From those vectors, calculate the vector A and calculate the vector B. So this was just like a normal simultaneous equation, but this time it was given in vector form. So as we know that if we are using elimination, okay, from simultaneous equations, I'm just going to work, you're supposed to work this the way that you do on simultaneous equation. As you can see here, we can actually eliminate B, because here we have got a plus B, a minus B. So how can we eliminate B? We have to add, because these two signs are different. So we are going to add vector A plus vector 2A, which is 3A. So this is going to be 3A is equal to, you move on, this vector plus this vector. So there you can just add the normal way, -2,6 plus 5,0, the normal way that you do. So 3 vector A is equal to -2 plus 5, that is 3, 6 plus 0 here, that is 6. So how do you find vector A? So to remove these 3, this side you divide, but on a vector, you multiply by the scalar, which is a third. Dividing by 3 is same as multiplying by a third. So that is going to give us vector A. So vector A was going to be a third times 3, that is 1, a third times 6, that is 2. So this is your vector A. To find vector B, we can just substitute into the normal equation, the first equation. Vector A is 1, 2, plus vector B, we do not know vector B, we are supposed to obtain -2, 6. So to find vector B, we have to just transpose 1/2 to the other side of the equation. That's -2, 6 minus 1, 2. So that's it. We put vector B, which is -2 minus 1, that is -3. 4 minus 2, that is 6 minus 2, sorry, that is 4. So that was your vector B. I think is very, very direct and straightforward from this information. Okay, the B part, we are now given a shape where we are given a triangle, that in an angle for 15 degrees, which is the slope that we are given. So the first question was to calculate the gradient of the slope AC. This is AC. There is an angle which is between the line and the horizontal line. So this part, most of us guys there were the challenge because we never talked about this, but whenever you are given an angle, gradient is equal to tan theta. That's it. So that is tan of the angle between the line, the horizontal line, and the line. It must be from the positive horizontal line between the line like that. So that was your answer, tan 15. So this one, you needed a calculator to find the value of tan 15. And tan 15, that's 0.26, whatever that we have went to 2 decimal place, it is going to be 0.27. Okay, so it was going to be 0.27. That was the gradient, 0.27. Let me know if you have any other method that you used to calculate this gradient. Yeah, let us know, guys. Okay, the B part, the item 2, calculate APB. APB, that is an angle, A to P to B here, APB, this angle here, guys. Just imagine, this is a straight line, guys. APC is a straight line. So from 180, because we've got 75 here, then we can have that angle. So it was simply 180 degrees minus 75 degrees, and that's something like 105 degrees. Okay, so that's it. Let's see the third part of the question. Okay, I'd go back here. No, the third part, calculate the length of the rope AB. So there we need to calculate the length of the rope, which is AB. Okay, so let's see from this information, where do we have our AB? Okay, from item 3, where do we have our, okay, sorry, I'm being like this. Okay, this is our AB, from A to B here, A to B. This is the part that we are calculating. So this is item 3. You can just wake it aside here. So using cosine rule, yeah, we can calculate this side because we've got 2 sides here, and we've got an angle in between, which is 105 degrees. So you can apply cosine rule. Remember, cosine said that A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC, the cos of A, whereby A is the side that we are calculating, which is AB squared is equivalent to B and C, which are the sides which are creating the angle 7 and 10. These sides which are creating this angle. So it's supposed to be 7 squared plus 10 squared minus those 2 sides again, which is 2 times 7 times 10. Cos of the angle that is in between the sides, which is 105 degrees. So that's it. We can simplify whatever way that we're going to have. 7 squared, that is 49 plus 100 minus 2 times 7, which is 14 times 10, 140, cos 105 degrees. So that's AB squared is 149 minus 140 cos 105 degrees. So that's AB squared is equivalent to, we can just simplify this part from our calculator. That's 149 minus 140 cos 105 degrees. That's 185, whatever that we have there, 185, 2, 3, 4, 6, and so on and so on. So to find AB, there's a square, introduce the square root, both sides, then automatically we have got AB. So the square root of the answer is going to give us AB. So that's the square root of the answer that we had, which is 13.6100, which is something like 13.6 or 13.61. So it's going to be 13.6. And the other, it was in meters. So it will be meters. So this is the length of the rope AB, that is 13.6 meters. I think by this was actually a direct question, just depending with what you are having from there. Okay, number 11, we are given that in a group of 55 teachers in a school, 31 have cars, 27 have bicycles, X teachers have both a car and a bicycle, and 6 have neither of the two. Let the universal set be the number of teachers in the school, B, the teachers with bicycles, C, the teachers with cars. Show this information on a well labeled Venn diagram. Remember your Venn diagram, we have got two sets here, B and C, and they are intersecting both. We've got both those with both cars and bicycles. So that one is actually going to be, we are going to have an intersection between the two. Okay, so there we are given that also we have got 6 which have neither of the two. They do not have a bicycle, they do not have a car. So those ones are the ones that we are going to indicate outside of the two sets in our universal set, like that. Okay, so this is what you're going to have. So here we have got X being those who are having both, and both is the intersection, that is your X. So the intersection is the part that represents X. So this is your X. Okay, then 6 you have neither, they do not have anything. So 6, you can just write them outside. Okay, this is where we have got the issue now, where we have got this 31, we have got cars, 27 have got, so 21, it's not cars only, it's just cars. So what about those? We have got cars only, which is this part here. So it's going to be 31 minus X. The same with bicycles. Sorry, this is for bicycles B. So we need cars here, 31 minus X. Then bicycles is 27. So it's going to be 27 minus X to have bicycles only. So that was the information. So you represent in terms of X, just like that. So that was item 1. I don't know if there is any other information that we left, but here we're told the universal set, there are 55 in the universal set. So this whole set has got 55 elements. Okay, so that was it. The item 2, now find or calculate the value of X. So to calculate the value of X, we know that everything has to be equal to the total, which is 55, the number of teachers present at that school. So if we add 27 minus X plus this X here, plus this 31 minus X plus this 6, we must obtain the total, which is 55. So that one is an equation, guys, for you to work on or to solve. So you're just going to collect like terms there. Let's see, 27 plus 31 plus 6. So we add the numbers first. That's 64. So we've got 64 here. Minus X plus X, that's a 0 here. So you're going to remain with this minus X, we equate to 55. So to find X, we can transpose 64 minus 55 is equal to X. If we transpose this here, it's going to be a positive. 55, this side is going to be a negative. So 64 minus 55, that's something like 9. So our X was going to be 9. So therefore, this X is going to be equal to 9. So subtract properly, guys, and see if you're obtaining the same thing. All right, the B part on question number 11 was actually on a regular polygon. Remember, a regular polygon, it means all sides are equal. So if this is AB is 5 centimeters, this is also 5, this is also 5, this is also 5, 5, 5. And this is a regular hexagon. Take note, it's a hexagon. So the first question was for us to calculate, okay, we are given that it's a hexagonal prism. So which means this cross section that we see here is also found on the other side. So that's a volume, okay? So item 1 is to calculate BD from B to D, that is this side here, from B to D. All right, so we just have two sides. So what can we do? Can we have this angle? Yes, we can have. This is a regular polygon. So we can calculate the interior angle of a regular polygon, which is a hexagon. So how do we calculate the interior angle? There are so many ways. We can use that concept of finding the exterior angle and dividing by 2 and subtracting from 180. Guys, remember that all exterior angles, they add up to 360. So we want to calculate the angle. So it's going to be 360 divided by 6, which is 60 degrees. That's our exterior angle. So the interior angle is going to be 180 degrees minus 60 degrees, that's 120 degrees. Or you can use n minus 2 by 180 degrees divided by n. There you can calculate each interior angle, which is 120 degrees. So since we have got 120 degrees and we want to calculate BD, that means we can use cosine rule, just like what we did in the previous question, because we've got two sides and an angle. So therefore, BD squared is going to be 5 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 5 times 5 cos of the angle, which is 120 degrees. So that's what you're supposed to have. So guys, you have to calculate each part separate, just like what we did. But because this part, guys, we talked about it, I'm just going to use calculator direct. 5 squared plus 5 squared minus, just open bracket, 2 times 5 times 5 times cos of 120 degrees. You're going to obtain something like 75. So BD squared is equal to 75. So to find BD, that's square root. So BD is going to be the square root of 75. And from our calculator, the square root of answer, which is 75, is 8.660, which is 8.66. So it's going to be 8.66 centimeters. These are in centimeters. Okay, the other part is to calculate the area of A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. That is the whole shape that we are seeing here. So there were so many ways. I could actually work out this way. Calculate the area of this shape here, this triangle, times 2, because it is the same as this triangle. Then finally, I have to calculate the area of the rectangle. Remember, we calculated BD and we got 8.66. That's 8.66. So you can calculate the area of the two triangles here. One triangle times 2, then plus area of the rectangle. So that is going to be the whole or the total area for this question. So our area was actually going to be area of triangle times 2, because we've got two triangles there, plus area of the rectangle, area of a rectangle. So you can write rectangle or you just show the sign. Okay, so remember, area of a triangle is half AB sine theta. So this is half AB sine theta. Whatever that we get here, we multiply by 2 plus length times width area of a rectangle. But as you can see, guys, half and 2 can cancel, so you remain with AB sine theta. So that was just AB sine theta, which is AB. Just multiply 5 and 5. That's your AB, 5 times 5. The sides which are creating the angle, it's 5 and 5. So it was going to be 5 times 5 times the sine, the angle. Remember, our angle is 120 degrees. So we have area of two triangles here, plus the rectangle. It's length times width here, which is 8.66 times 5. So that is the length and the width. So it's going to be 8.66 times 5. So from there, we've got the total area for the given shape. All right, so let's see what you're going to have. 5 times 5 times sine 120 degrees. This is sine 120 degrees. Close that bracket. Plus length times width, which is 8.66. That's 8.66 times 5. We are going to have something like 64.951, because that 6 is going to round off this one. Okay, let's just see to 3 SF, it is going to be 64, this 5 is going to change 9 into 10. It gives 4 a 1, so it's going to be 65 to 3 SF. So it's going to be 65,0 square centimeters. That is to 3 significant figures. Remember, we are told that we are supposed to round off to 3 SF. Okay, so that was the area on this is item 2. Okay, then item 3, we now need to calculate the volume of the prism. Remember, guys, I told you volume is equivalent to the base area times the height. So the base area is the cross section, because this A, B, C, D, E, whatever that we have up to F, this one, it's the cross section that we see, because this is a rectangular prism whose height is 12 centimeters. So from this shape that we see to another shape, which is on the other side there is a distance of 12 centimeters to that side. So there you can have your volume, because you know that volume is base area times height. And the base area, we have already calculated this, which is 65. So it is going to be 65 times the height of 12. Remember, we said it's 12. So 65 by 8, what do we have here? 65 by 12, sorry, that is 780. So we're going to have 780 cubic centimeters. That's the volume of the given cross-section or the prism that we are given in that platform. So there are so many ways, guys, that we could have actually used to calculate or to have this area here. So it depends with what how you answer these questions. It actually depends, guys. Okay, so I just hope everything was pretty clear on this question. So let's see the other part, which is the last part of the question paper. That is our question number 12. Let's see what we were given on question 12. Okay. All right. So that's our question 12. The first part was to solve the quadratic equation. So this is one of the most tempting questions. How they actually do, they tempt you with a certain question like this, where they know that you can actually answer the quadratic, but the rest of the question, you can't answer those questions. So that one, it's a typical and very, very tempting part of a question. Anyways, this is a quadratic equation. We can actually apply our quadratic formula since we are given that our answer is supposed to be 3 decimal places. So I'm just going to work it on top here. So we've got, remember from our quadratic formula, x is equivalent to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So that's x is equivalent to minus b. This is a, this is b, this is c. So our b is -5. So that means we are going to have a -5. That's -5 from this part. So it is going to be -5 plus or minus the square root of b squared. That's -5 again. So -5 squared minus 4ac. Our a is 3 and our c, that's -10. All right, so that's what we had. Everything over 2a, which is 2 times 3. Okay, so you can simplify from there. Minus and minus, that's 5, plus or minus the square root of. You can just simplify this part here under the square root. Okay, I want us to see something here. Where is my calculator now? All right. Under the square root, we are going to simplify this part under the square root. So guys, this thing cannot go back. Okay, we're going to obtain something like 145 over 2 times 3, which is 6. So separating this, we've got 5 plus the square root of 145 over 6, or another x, which was going to be 5, minus the square root of 145 over 6. All right, so that's it from this part. We're going to have two possible values. The first one was going to be something like 2,8402, like that, which is 2,84, okay, to 2 decimal place. Or another x was going to be -1,1735, which is 173. That one does not change. Is it 173 or 117? So it's 117. So it's going to be 17, like that. Okay, so that was the other x that we had from this one. All right, let's see the other part, which is the b. We're given, again, a solid shape. This is a semicircular coupling A, B, C, D made of certain type of metal. And we're given the radius. Okay. Here we're given 2 millimeters AB from A to B, D to C. Here we've got 2 millimeters here, 2 millimeters here, 2 millimeters here, 2 millimeters, like that. Okay, of which 2 millimeters in centimeters, that's something like 0.2. If we divide by 10, because 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. So to centimeters, it was going to be 0.2 centimeters. Okay, so here we've got 0.2 centimeters. Here we've got 0.2 centimeters. Okay, so the question was to calculate the length of the arc BH. That's the first question, arc BH. From B to H, this length of arc here. So as you can see, it's from a semicircular, and we are given a radius of 3,3, which means also we've got 3,3. So the area, guys, we know is simply from the, okay, this is length, not area. Okay, so item 1, the length of arc is given by the formula theta over 360 times 2 pi r from our circle. Remember, guys, our circle is supposed to be 2 pi r, like that. So in this case, for us to have the length of arc BH here, the length of arc, we need this length of arc here, the BH. So we know that we are supposed to use pi r like this. Okay, so let me write the formula so that I do not confuse you, times 2 pi r. But this is 1/8 is less, it's a semicircle, it's a straight line, so it's just half of that. So it's going to be half times 2 pi r, of which we can cancel the 2 and the 2 remain with pi. When you are given that pi is 22/7, so it was going to be 22/7 times the radius, and we saw that the radius here is 3,3. So we are going to multiply by 3,3, whatever that we get here, that will be the length of the arc. Okay, so from our calculator, let's see what we are having, guys. I don't know what's actually happening with my calculator here. All right, that's my calculator here. Okay, so I'm just going to see if we are going to win. All right. All right.